I said, look, you've tied him up a million times, right? Do it now.
Right.
Get him any way you can. Get him in the car, get him to the hospital. I don't care how you do it.
There's more to me than people really know, you know? Yeah, dude.
Now, before we get into this full 5150 saga, I wanted to remind y'all I started a brand new channel with my friend Jake to publish more of my findings. The first episode is already out, and it's on Hillsong and how they're using their celebrity status to take over Christianity. Click the link below to check it out. You definitely don't want to miss this. Stephen Gilchrist Glover, also known as Steveo, was born on June 13, 1974. Steveo is an American entertainer, television personality, and stunt performer, known mostly for his performance stunts in the reality comedy television series Jackass, which aired from 2000 to 2002. While performing in the flea market circus, Steveo began sending videos of himself to Big Brother magazine editor and future Jackass director, Jeff Tremaine.
It wasn't going to clown college that really gave me like my big break. It was like burning my face off for Big Brother magazine. That's what really like gave me my break.
At a house party, a backyard kegger, he gets my attention with his little fireball trick backflip thing. He ended up burning his face off, and of course I had to write an article about that. Idiots are what make Big Brother work.
Steve burned his face so bad, it was horrible.
That's the first time the skate community knew about Steveo.
First time I met Steveo was on the Big Brother Florida trip. And we went straight to his house. We're all excited to meet him. I've seen all this footage of him. Crazy. Blah, 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 what is this? Blah, blah, just backflip fireball. We jumped in the van and we tried to ditch him. He wasn't going to let that happen. And pretty much from then on, we've had gold with Mr. O.
Steveo began to work on MTV's television series Jackass, which became an instant hit. But over the course of his career, Steveo's life would take an unfortunate and sad turn. Because of all of the dangerous and extreme stunts that Steveo had subjected himself to, his body was quite literally falling apart. It is widely reported that Steveo's role on Jackass is what ultimately led him down the dark path of addiction and substance abuse. Today, Steveo has straightened up his act. He hosts a hugely successful podcast and is seen by many as a poster child for sobriety and recovery from addiction. But what those people may not know about are the circumstances that led Steveo to his sobriety.
You know him from Jackass, Wild Boys. He's the new show's Dr. Steveo. That's on the USA Network. Here he is, my good buddy, Steveo! You walked out and you made it to the seat.
Yeah. Right.
Often talk shows will give, if a guest wants something to drink, an alcoholic beverage, it's available to them. We used to do that when we started. And we don't do that to this day because Steveo abused that privilege. I'm not kidding. He's the reason why we are a dry late night show. Well, you were hammered too. You were hammered. You were hammered. When I came back to say hello to you, you said, it's so good to be here, Conan.
In March 2008, only 1 month after Britney Spears was placed into an involuntary psychiatric hold against her will in Los Angeles pursuant to California Statute 5150, Steveo would be held against his will in much the same manner.
We have this law in California, right? It's called 5150. It says if you're harmful to yourself, they can lock you up in a psychiatric ward against your will. So Knoxville brings like the whole Jackass gang over, like the cameraman, director of all the and they show up to stop me from hurting myself after the mother helped me for 10 years. Yeah.
Steveo's friends had come to his apartment to record him performing a stunt where he would jump from a 25-foot height onto concrete. His friends were alarmed, though, by his statement in an email invitation that read, "I'm ready to die." his friends staged an intervention, which was entirely organized by Johnny Knoxville, who was a fellow cast member of Jackass. He didn't come alone though. He showed up with 7 extra people. These friends had decided that Steveo needed help whether he wanted it or not, and the friends were ready to do whatever was necessary to make sure he got help. By enacting California's 5150 law, they were able to commit him to a psychiatric ward involuntarily. This initial hold was statutorily limited to 72 hours, but at the hospital, Steveo was apparently so out of control that the staff converted his commitment to a 2-week hold under the 5250 statute. He wrote a letter while he was in the psychiatric ward. In the letter, he spoke about the 5150 status, which was essentially a 3-day hold on him, resulting from suicidal behavior. In a later TMZ video, though, he clarified that he wasn't actually exhibiting suicidal behavior, but rather, he just felt the notion that he was ready to die. He said he's out of his mind, believe you me, how'd he get this way, how can it be, it's gotten so bad there's nothing left of me. He also gave his fans an ominous warning at the end of his letter. Be real careful, don't misbehave. That's all you gotta know to be saved. Love me. I love you all. Steveo.
Went well, right?
Oh, it went great. Yeah, everything went
So
fine.
this was very nice and sweet, short and sweet.
Yes.
In and out.
We're in and out, and that's the way I planned it.
Basically what we're saying is that I was a mess, didn't have my act together. We don't have the strongest case, but we're going to see what they got.
That's exactly right. And we're not going to plead. We plead not guilty at this moment.
Take us back to that day. What happened?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We cannot discuss.
I can honestly say that I don't remember. I'm not even trying to spin it. Like, I really genuinely don't remember. I was in such bad shape, and what I know, from being clean for 44 days is that if I go back to using alcohol and drugs, I'm gonna go right back to being that bad. So it's either be completely sober or that bad, and there's nowhere in between. I got locked up in the psychiatric ward for behavior. I wasn't really actually doing anything. I was just making outrageous claims about being ready to die.
A lot of kids watch you. Do you think you set a bad example for them?
I'm proud of what I've done in the past to distract people from the fact that the world can be a bad place. I think that I could have reached for better sort of things to be looked up for than to be an alcoholic addict that hurts himself for a living. I was using nitrous oxide, alcohol, marijuana.
And you were getting increasingly manic?
Sure.
And sort of delusional?
Yeah, we had some talks about the possibility of me having bipolar. I think that you indicated that there was a strong possibility, and
well, I hope you remember what I was saying was it doesn't matter. You're manic now, whether you really have bipolar, it doesn't really matter. Like everybody talks about Charlie Sheen. That's that same thing. That's hypomania. Whether it's really bipolar or something drug-induced, kind of doesn't matter. It needs to get landed before somebody hurts themselves.
Right.
And then just to sort of shorthand what happened, Knoxville saved your life, as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
He came in, tied you up, took.
Well, he called you first, and he said we're about to lose Steveo. We feel like he's going to die any day now. You said that's absolutely right,
yeah.
And you told him to get me into the hospital on California's 5150 hold.
What I said was, look, you've tied him up 1 million times, right? Do it now.
Right.
Get him any way you can. Get him in the car. Get him to the hospital. I don't care how you do it.
Today, Steveo thanks Johnny Knoxville for the intervention and credits him with saving his life. Importantly, unlike Britney Spears, Steveo's involuntary hold only lasted about 2 weeks before he was released and able to seek the treatment that worked best for him. This is a great model for how giving people autonomy and choice is often the best way for them to achieve long-term health and sobriety. Unlike Steveo, though, his fellow castmate Bam Margera has not been given the same grace. He is currently, at the time of the making of this video, being held in a Florida inpatient hospital in Pinellas County called Tranquil Shores against his will and with no access to his cell phone and no release date in sight that the public can be aware of. For more information on Bam Margera's conservatorship and all the players involved, you can see my Bam Margera playlist that is linked on this channel.
So, how much in contact are you with BAM these days?
So, my family, Jackass, has betrayed me, abandoned me, rejected me,